There are many things in Warframe that people don't know, even at higher levels. There are things I'm still learning about in Warframe as well. Little tricks that make things in Warframe easier, or things to do in missions that make it go by quicker. There seems to always be something in the game that can help you out in some way. In this video, I'm going to talk about some helpful tips that will help you in missions and other areas in the game, as well as showing some things you may not have known about. So if you are a beginner, this video will be very helpful for you. And if you're a veteran and you've been playing Warframe for a while, then you may know most of this stuff already. So let me know if you found out about something new or helpful in this video. First, we are going to look at relics and prime parts, showing off something that has helped me understand prime parts and frames, as well as knowing what relics to get. When you go over to this corner where the relic station is, or you can now access your gear wheel and teleport to any area in the orbiter. All the relics in the game appear here. Obviously, every prime part or weapon that has come out in this game is in this area. In order to find any weapon or part, you can simply search that part in this area. You can also search for a specific relic too, if you know what it is that you want. The most helpful thing with this is seeing if a relic is vaulted or not. If you look at my old videos on relic farming, most of the comments ask me if a relic is vaulted or not, or just how to get it since they are not receiving it as a drop. You can check if it is vaulted or not by simply hitting the button that appears as you hover over that relic. For PC, this button is tapped, and if you click it, you'll either see text saying the relic is in the prime vault, or you'll see a bunch of locations in which you'll have a chance of getting this relic. Obviously, if it shows the locations, the relic is not vaulted. Now moving on to the Strata Relay, or Earth's Relay, we're going to focus on a character, Cephalon Samaris, for a bit. He's very important to the game, and is a character in Syndicate you need to start focusing on if you haven't already. The first thing from him we are going to look at is the MR test, or Mastery Rank test. Specifically the practice test. If you go to the right, as soon as you enter this area, you will see a whole lineup of the different mastery ranks. Once you find yours and go to that next one, it will say to do a practice test. This allows you to understand what frames or weapons you should bring once this rank is available. This can make it easier for you so you don't have to wait another day to do it again if you mess up. This is very important for those who are at a lower mastery rank, where you still need to unlock some things because of your mastery rank. I would recommend using this as it will save you time and help you understand what you're getting yourself into. Next is Cephalon Samaris' offerings. When you go to his offerings in the back right corner, you will see a bunch of stuff if you are a higher level in the game. If you aren't, or you have not done a lot of quests, you will not see everything I see. There are mods for Sentinels, which the mod for Worm is the best, so I highly recommend picking that one up. But there are also blueprints of frames, weapons, and Umbral mods. The one thing that the blueprints of weapons and frames, as well as the Umbral mods, have in common is the fact that you could only do the mission for them once. You can only get junction rewards once, you can only get rewards from quests once. So in case you sold those parts because you were desperate for credits, or you built the frame and weapon and just want another one for the helmet or some other reason, you can go back and buy these blueprints for standing. This leads us to the next point, which is how to get standing for Cephalon Samaris. You have to buy his scanners and traps first in the offerings section. Once you do this, you can go talk to him and start a target as you are seen in this video. Once you do this, you will have a target that appears in missions you do on the planet it spawns at. Don't worry, you don't have to look up the planets, you can simply see which planet the target spawns on by hovering over it. Then, in order to find it, go into a capture or exterminate mission on any of those planets. If Cephalon Samaris does not say anything about the target right after Lotus is done talking, then you are in the wrong mission. This is how I find my targets, so it should work well for you. You can track down the target by having the scanner out and seeing these weird DNA looking strands that put you in the right direction. However, you will likely end up seeing it or having it appear on your HUD as you are doing the mission and heading to extraction. Now, with all these things about Cephalon Samaris aside, we can transition into other syndicates. Now, as I mentioned before, syndicates are very helpful, especially the syndicates on planets. However, we're going to focus on the normal syndicates first, and then get into the other ones, which are the relay syndicates. Each of these syndicates has its own set of mods for frames. One or two syndicates may have mods for Saren, while others don't. One or two may have mods for Banshee, while others don't. So you'll eventually need to switch to other syndicates to get all the specific mods for frames. This is somewhat easy to do if you consistently do the syndicate missions. Also, these syndicates all have Relic Packs, which makes it so much easier to farm relics in my opinion, as well as Aya. If you don't care about having all the specific mods, you can just keep buying Relic Packs. This leads us into the other syndicates, the ones on planets, specifically the ones on Cetus, Fortuna, and Deimos. You can purchase relic packs with the gem or miner guy at these syndicates, which shows why these ones are important too, besides a whole bunch of other reasons that I could make a whole video about in the future. And if you didn't catch what I said earlier about the relic packs, they can give Aya as a reward. This can make it less frustrating since you can get Aya and other relics from a relic pack, so possibly vaulted relics and regular relics in one, making it a win-win deal. This is how I get my Aya usually, and maybe it becomes your way too. Lately I've been doing a lot of Lich missions, trying to get all the Kuva and Tenet weapons. As I've been doing this, I have used up a lot of Requiem mods. Once you use a Requiem mod 3 times, it becomes Defiled. And one thing I found out is that you can use 4 Defiled mods to create a new Requiem mod. Or you can sell just one for 25,000 credits. So if you're really trying to get a lot of credits and you have no problem with farming these mods, you can sell 4 Requiem mods for 100,000 credits. You can do a similar thing with Riven mods too. Next is the trade chat. Many people struggle with selling on trade chat. Usually it's because you're a beginner and you don't know how it works, or the main reason, which is you don't have a lot of things in the game that people are willing to purchase. What I do is I rarely ever type WTS or want to sell. I go in the filter and I type in WTB, which means want to buy. This means I only see people who want to buy something in the trade chat. Filter out the people who are trying to sell stuff. This is when I can message them, saying I have what they want, and have them offer a price, or I immediately offer them a price. This can make it easier to only see things you want. If you only want to buy Rivens, filter in the word Riven. If you want to buy Wukong, only filter people who are selling Wukong. However, you will get someone who wants to sell it sooner if you just say you want to buy it. So this filter is really only good for typing in WTB or want to buy. Now going off of this, as a beginner in trade chat, you won't know the prices or understand why some things are priced high. This is when you should go to Warframe Market. When you go to this website, simply type in what you want and check to see the going price. While you're doing this, use the first tip that I mentioned in this video and see if that item is vaulted. If it is, the lowest price may not be the best price, since they likely have sold a ton of that one item. Just make sure nobody's trying to sell something for way higher than what it is actually worth. This just helps you see the average prices on that item. Many people will try to start high, so you need to know the going price for that item you want to buy. Speaking of market, if you go to your market in your orbiter and go to frames, you will see all the normal or standard frames in the game. Some of them you can buy the blueprint, some of them you cannot. However, if you hover over the blueprint of any frame, you will see a vague but helpful way on how to get these parts, or in better words, where to find the parts. Now, as you may be asking, I've hovered over Ember and it doesn't tell me anything. That's because it comes from a boss on a planet. All but one of the bosses on the star chart gives Warframe parts. So with most of the frames that just allow you to purchase the blueprint and it doesn't tell you where to find the parts, it's from a boss. So we'll have to do an assassination mission and get those parts. Now, as a veteran or someone who has been playing Warframe for a while, you definitely have figured this out, and that is the order of your status effects. Basically saying the order of your status effects matter. If you want a combination of viral and heat, you can't have heat mod in between cold and toxin. You need it as the last mod. So it should go toxin cold heat or cold toxin heat in order to have that combination. If you put heat first in an order like heat, toxin, and cold, you will get gas and cold status effects, which is not what you're going for. If you have 4 different status effects like cold, toxin, heat, and electricity, then you will have 2 different status combinations. And if you did it in that order that I listed them off in, then you would have a viral and radiation status effect combination. Hopefully that is clear and understanding for any beginner watching this. I know modding can be hard and confusing as you start off in the game. Next is something similar to Warframe Market, but is very, very useful, and that is Warframe Wiki. Warframe Wiki is probably a site you have landed on a lot if you have ever looked up something Warframe related. If you want to know where to get a weapon, a site that will pop up is Warframe Wiki. They have all the PNG images, all the quick facts and guides that you will need. It will show you where to farm for a frame's parts, what rotation it can drop on, the abilities of the frame, and the base stats. You can go look for yourself, but if you ever need some quick help and don't want to watch or listen to a video, then go to this site. Trust me, it will help you a lot as it did for me. Lastly, something that is very important to me and something that is mentioned in all of my Kuva videos and hopefully soon to be Tenet videos is that you should never convert a Lich. The only reason you are doing these Lich missions is to get the weapon, or for Tenet Lich missions, the weapon and the Hound. In order to get these as a reward, you have to vanquish or kill the Lich. You should never have to debate on which one is better. You should always vanquish a Lich. I found this out the hard way when I converted a Lich and found out I didn't get my Kuva Brahma. Now the Lich pops in missions where I have died once or more. You can just get a Spectre for this, they're very cheap to build, and you can spawn them in whenever you like and however many you want. So please, for the sake of your sanity, don't ever convert a Lich, please. Now that is about it for this video. I hope you found this video useful and helpful, whether you're a beginner or not. If you did find it useful and found out about something new, let me know. I tried to make this more for veterans or people who have played the game for a while, but it is very difficult to find things that those type of players wouldn't know by now. Plus, I know people who have been playing for a while and can get help from beginner style videos too. There could be some more things added, especially if I chose to focus solely on beginners. However, I tried to make it mutual for beginners and veterans in Warframe. Now with all that said, thank you so much for watching, and I hope you enjoyed.